So guys, I would just like to start off by thanking absolutely every single one of you who has been able to make my journey something so unforgettable to my life. Being able to hit 100k subscribers is something I thought I would never be able to do, and I would love to start off this video by creating a here before 100k hashtag down in the comment section. So if this applies to you, quick, go down to the comment section and comment hashtag here before 100k, and I will be hearting every single person's comment for the next 3 days. So guys, draw my life. Where do I begin? Well, I guess starting way back in 1994 on the 26th of September, which I believe was a Monday. Baby AntAntixx was born 1 day early, making me 25 years old to this date. And I'm starting to feel it. I grew up a fairly happy baby, I thought, with not many complications to my life, and grew up being a healthy toddler. 14 months later, a devil little brother popped out of my mother. Well, that's the most pleasant way I could have said it, guys, as technically he didn't really pop out, as some might say, and more so forced out due to being 10 days late. What a poor mum I had. But then, as I grew up through my single digit years, everything was pretty normal. We had a holiday to forget in Tunisia when I was at the age of 5. I joined a football team at the age of 7, and then a couple of years later quit football to begin dance lessons at the age of 9. Now, as you can imagine, I got quite some stick for leaving the football team as a striker to become a dancer boy, as my teammates once mocked me for doing. I then spent the next few years getting fairly bullied for quitting what's known to most people as a lad's activity to entering what some might say a girly activity. But luckily, I knew how to stick up for myself and knew how to silence the bullies. As I started to reach double figures and into my early teenage years, I could be seen on TV a couple of times. I was once on a show called This Morning with Philip Schofield and Fern Britton as I entered a dance show called Dinky Dancing. And don't worry, I will save you some time and take the great pleasure informing you that it is nowhere to be seen on YouTube, because if it was, I wouldn't have been telling you this piece of information, so you're welcome. In that show, I managed to get into the semi-finals with my dance partner, Lorna. Later on that same year, Lorna left me to dance with a much taller, skinnier young man, as I wasn't really good enough, as I was still pretty new to the whole dance thing, and she had been dancing since the early age of 4. My mum was in floods of tears because my first dance partner left me, but that's life. A couple of years later, I was then on a show some of you guys may know called Blue Peter. And yes, I do own a Blue Peter badge. The only issue is, I don't know where it is. That time, I wasn't in a competition, and was more a backing dancer. But, fun fact, the dance that we had to do was called the Quick Step. Now, we had to dance the entirety of the Quick Step through pre-adverts, all the way through adverts, and some of the post-adverts. So, all in all, we had to dance for roughly 10 minutes straight. I think it was safe to say I slept very well that night. So growing up, I then entered secondary school, or as some Americans might call it,
high school.
I spent my first year at a very bad school. The ratings were roughly 2 out of 5 star rating. Later on in my first year of secondary school, that school then got announced closure. So I moved to a different school for the remaining years I had of secondary school. Let's just say it was quite the roller coaster of schools. It had its goods, also had its bads. But one thing I will say is that I, as a person, grew up so much in that phase of life. I went from getting good grades to bad grades, from positive feedback from teachers to getting my jaw broken and fractured in 2 different areas of my jaw. And to this date, I still have 3 metal plates and 12 screws holding my jaw together. Obviously, it has all healed now. However, at the time, my jaw was in 3 pieces and was the most pain I have ever had to enjoy in my entire life so far. Even more so than when I once fell out of a tree and a branch went right through my left arm, just by the armpit. Strangely enough, that incident didn't hurt at all, considering I had a hole in my arm. Pretty gruesome, I know, but it only needed 4 stitches and I was sent on my way. Incredible. Oh, and I also got an Easter egg for my troubles, as all of this happened on an Easter Sunday when I was roughly 13 years of age. So, leaving school, prom all over and done with, I then moved on to college, where I took up the subject Art and Design Level 3, and it was safe to say I hated it. It wasn't what I expected whatsoever, as most of what we did was to do with photography. I mean, if I wanted to do a photography course, I would have entered a photography course. We almost did 30% of actual drawing or painting. Kind of what I'm doing here. So, a few months later, I left college and took up a full-time job in my nearest cinema. Now, working in the cinema, I actually loved. Could you just imagine coming home, smelling of popcorn all the time? It was lush. And that's not even mentioning all of the free movies we got to go and see before release date. Which, technically, I probably shouldn't be mentioning, but oh well. It was all still pretty cool. I also remember working 9 to 5. One day, staying up all the way through the night and then working for the Batman Dark Knight opening, which I then started at 4 AM till about 9 AM. Just as I was finishing that shift, I remember going up to my staff room, sitting down in a chair and falling straight to sleep while sat up. I think that was the most tiredness I have ever felt in my life. I was then woken up by the next employee due in for their shift. Some memories I will never forget, and probably some memories I probably shouldn't share on this video, like falling asleep at work, which I don't advise any of you guys to do. As I grew up through my next couple of years at the cinema, I then decided to chase one of my dreams, to become a chef. Now, if any of you guys do follow me on Instagram, you probably understand why I enjoy cooking so much. Being able to create food and make others happy through something I know I am good at is such a great hobby of mine. But I soon realised being a chef wasn't just cooking. I would be spending most of my teenage years locked up in a 40-degree kitchen, working extremely hard. As cliche as it sounds, it was really blood, sweat and tears, and I really took a dive in mental health. It was at this point when writing up this whole thing that I had a minor meltdown and broke down into tears, just giving me flashbacks of everything that happened. But guys, I'm not going to get into that sort of stuff, but all you guys do need to know is that everything that bad happened at that time happened all at the same time, and I felt like the world was on my shoulders, but I made it through. And so I started gaming more seriously. I would spend hours on a game called Minecraft all by myself, and I just wanted someone to communicate with while playing the game I enjoyed. And so I contacted a build team in Minecraft that I had been watching for quite a few years prior to this moment in time, asking to help join in building and join the team. And so I entered the Blocksmiths, as I am sure some of you guys know. I was welcomed in with open arms by Phoenix and Melmo Loves You. And so that's where I decided to begin my YouTube journey. We ended up creating a brand new game mode in Minecraft. Note that I said Minecraft here, not Roblox. And don't worry, we're not the first person to create this game mode. Don't want to make that mistake again. Holy moly. But we started a group of Minecraft recorders called the Murder Mystery Crew, which turned out to be quite a pretty big thing for the Minecraft console community. This whole era got my channel from 0 subscribers to 18,000 subscribers. Pretty insane stuff. Then in 2018, the Murder Mystery Crew parted ways due to real life commitments, and most of the members' YouTubes went pretty stale, including mine. I then tried to push it onto a game called Fortnite, but it really wasn't something I was getting anywhere with, and so from this moment, I lost all passion and my YouTube came to a standstill. Now, I am going to get into the Roblox side of things of YouTube in just a second, but for now, I just want to speak about something that was a pretty big turning point in my life. So, in 2015, I swiped right. Then, she swiped right, and along came Emily. So yes, we're not ashamed. We met through Tinder, which if you guys didn't know is a kind of younger age dating app. We all got to meet someone somehow, right? And if it wasn't for Tinder, I wouldn't be where I am now. So Emily lived roughly 30 miles away from me at this point, as she was attending a university on the outskirts of London, training to become a dancer, just like me. Now, Emily did appear on TV, but hers is on YouTube. So I won't be giving you guys too much information on that, as every time we watch it, she cringes. But all you need to know is that she is an extremely good dancer, and she has also reached the semi-finals of a pretty big TV show. So as Emily finished her university, which was roughly 9 months later, we were hit with quite the decision: to move in together and live with each other, or not commit to something as serious as living with each other. And she would have moved back up to Essex to live with her family, almost 150 miles away, to the point where we know that the relationship more than likely would have fizzled out. Well, at this point it was an easy decision, as we were getting along so well, and we were really clicking into something special. And so we began our journey in a tiny 1-bedroom flat in an attic of a terraced house, which can be seen in some really old videos of mine. Little did we know, 2 years later, I would be proposing to her in front of the Disney World Magical Kingdom castle and owning our very own devil dog, Chip, which, if you didn't know, decided to run through our living room window only recently. Yeah, Chip is quite the handful. And so 5 years later, myself, Emily and Chip have our own little family, and we couldn't be happier. Now, onto the final stages of YouTube. Early 2020, the world took a spiral into the unknown with a crazy little virus called COVID-19. And so at this point, my job as a dance teacher got firmly put on hold. So, as a dance teacher, I am what's known as self-employed, meaning I don't get any holiday pay. As COVID hit in March 2020, I had only been a dance teacher for roughly 1.5 years, and to be able to keep the self-employed afloat, the government rolled in a scheme to help. However, you needed 3 years worth of earnings behind you to be able to apply for this grant, where they would send you money to help out. So I could not apply for this grant, and I knew to myself that the next half year was going to prove very tough with zero income. And so I thought I would give my YouTube a final go, as I had seen some of my favourite YouTubers playing a game which I am sure all of you guys know by now, called Piggy by Minitoon. So I started playing Piggy and quickly fell in love with the game, with its deep storyline and addictive gameplay. And soon, this really didn't even become a chore, or as most people would call it, work. I would sit there for hours trying to piece together the storyline, trying to solve the mysterious events into the disappearance of Peppa Pig's family. Finally, a game that I absolutely loved. I even went as far as creating a rap, which to this day has almost 1.6 million views. Incredible! Not only did this keep my head afloat financially during the crazy year we had to endure, but I also found my passion for YouTube again. In March 2020, my channel had 18,000 subscribers, and now here we are, 5 months later, smashing a goal I never ever thought that I would achieve. Oh, and fun fact, the reason I like to involve you guys in a handful of my videos on YouTube is because I was once that young boy who wanted to be in a YouTube video, and allowing you guys into my videos is the least I could do. The support you guys have given me in the past 5 months has been incredible. Absolutely incredible. And it baffles me to this day to say to myself, I just hit 100,000 subscribers. Honestly, I can't put that into words as to how much I appreciate each and every single one of you. You guys are what made this journey so memorable. So thank you so much. And also a massive thank you to Minitoon for creating this game, as I wouldn't be anywhere near where I am now if it wasn't for Piggy. So, I just wanted to finish this video by mentioning a few people that have had an impact on my YouTube. Some old names, some new, some you'll recognise, some you won't, and some people that are still around to hear this, and some that are not. So, here goes. Longshot BTG, It's Exposition, Tasabu, El Nomada, Best in Roblox, Off Sally, Anglesey, JB Bolter, KitKat, Lenspath, Sticky Arrow, Spike Woody, Phoenix Death 1, Miss Talia, Mookie Boy, Parakeet, Lucky Plague, Lord Adamsglade, Jazoo, Dom, It's Probably Jam, Infected Lyric, Cool Boy, Fudge, I Ballistic Squid, Fruity Mew, Death Ninja 458, Cool Zara, Tank Matt, Charlotte, Beth Boo, Arch Sariel, KV Rain, Alicia Rose, Mighty Hayes, Kill Banner, Crazy Joker, Doom Zoom, Why Try, Mini Mooka, Takeshi 9 Ninja, Dubsy, Jegatron, Dan Lumby, Star Angelin, Kiki Koala, Millie, Oof It Sky, Lola, Niddy, Trimus, Park, Mason de Bear, LJ, It's Izzy Pop, Lee Loca, Forever Silly Cow, SB737, Blue Ocean, Origin 44, Luke Gaming, Creekcraft, Minitoon, Big B Stats, Dynamic Barton, Reese Globox, Jesse 2K13, Danny Babe, Neve the Dolphin, Tickles 22, Lion Maker, Minigod 951, Melmo Loves You, Phoenix, Monkey Ruler, and finally MCA 39. Now, I hope I didn't spell anyone's name wrong or miss any massively important ones out, but if you didn't make it into this lineup, then please don't be upset. There was just an awful lot of people to try and remember. However, there is one person I have missed out on purpose, and there is a reason for that, because I want to give this person a particular little bit more to say about. His name is Jake Globox. Now, please nobody take offense that I have picked Jake out of that list, but I just want to share a little bit to you as to what this young man has done for me. We met way back in 2015 in a Minecraft recording, and this dude has been there for me through thick and thin. We've both grown our channels together and have both motivated each other in the past 5 months to keep us both going, and he has been there so much for me recently. And I love the fact that we are both growing our channels together, because I know that he wants to do this as his lifetime job. And I couldn't be more thrilled to the fact that he is finally getting somewhere with it. So thank you for everything that you have done for me, bro. I couldn't have done it without you. Oh, and I just wanted to add that song in because I know it makes Jake cry. Anyway, that's it from me today, guys. I have no idea how long this video is going to be, so hopefully it wasn't too boring. But thank you all so much for all of your support day in, day out. It means the world. So guys, Draw My Life is over and done with. Hope you've all enjoyed it and my drawing hasn't been too bad. And until the next one, guys, much love.